Hey guys, thanks for coming back to Middle Class Reactions. So Karien Jean Pierre is apparently leaving the Democratic Party. Um, Not gonna lie, didn't see that one coming. Um, Putting a new book out. Apparently, this is now the thing for a lot of the insane Democrats that were that the last spent the last 4 years telling us that we're disgusting humans. Um, her and Jake Tapper and Cenk Uygur are the big three that I can think of off the top of my head. Um, you know, Well, I'll get into that later in this video. But yeah, we're going to take a look and see what good old Karine Jean Pierre is doing. Let's take a look.
And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft. Let's continue in Washington. Live picture there at the White House. You just heard from President Trump addressing the summer partygoers there on the front lawn of the White House. Well, if we could, let's just focus our efforts quickly on the previous administration, the Biden administration. We got the news today that former White House press secretary Karine Jean Pierre, she's leaving the Democratic Party. She is registering as an independent. She revealed this in a video on Instagram today. All of this announced as a forthcoming book about her time in the White House is scheduled for release later this fall. So, of course, she's a longtime Democratic Party operative. She's urging Americans to step aside harsh party lines in her new book titled Independent, a look inside a broken White House outside the party lines. The description also says the former Biden press secretary did not come to the decision about leaving the party lightly. So in the meantime here, we do want to let you listen to KJP make this announcement. Let's watch. This was on Instagram today.
Hi, I'm Karien Jean Pierre, and I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book coming out of the White House, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karien, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this...
I mean, color me shocked if this came out to be true, but I feel like that's a load of horse crap. The number one question that you get asked is a list of 4 questions. Hmm. I for some reason have a sneaky suspicion that doesn't happen. But what do I know?
Is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to and vulnerable communities that I respect, I will be there with you. I will move forward with you. And that is, I think, so important. So this book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st.
Yeah, I just can't. There's certain people that I just can't let get away with this kind of thing, Not that I have a huge platform that like I have any authority to not let her get away with it kind of thing, but like I can't believe someone who, over the last 4 years was calling white people terrible people, saying that the MAGA movement was the greatest threat to national security. Every time that Biden would come out and say that Trump's a fascist or Trump's Hitlerian or all this kind of thing, she would just regurgitate it. Because think about that. Think about that for a second. If someone says that, like, okay, Trump is Hitler, Trump's a fascist, that in fact means that all of his supporters are, at minimum, fascist and Hitler supporters. It's like I just can't, I can't take that serious. This, like I said earlier in the video, this seems to be the new thing, which is, now write a book talking about how bad the previous administration was, when during the entire administration, those same people, being her and Jake Tapper, were calling us insane and racist. And like, I remember Jake Tapper was interviewing one of Donald Trump's daughters, and she brought up like, oh, it seems like Joe Biden has a stutter and has some mental issues going on, and I feel bad for him. And Jake Tapper was like, "Do you know what that says about people that have stutters? How dare you make fun of people with disabilities? And just guilt tripping us over it. Like that just pisses me off to no end. That now that the entire country after the 2024 election all revolted against the Biden administration, that they're now like, oh, now we can talk about what everyone freaking knew during the entire Biden administration, is that like he is incompetent and has Alzheimer's or dementia, or is in that some sort of severe mental decline. Like, do y'all remember when old was Karien Jean Pierre, KJP, when she was like, yeah, Biden's the sharpest I've ever seen him. He goes through meetings all the time and answers everything super clear and always has an answer for everything. Like, it's just insane to me that this is the new thing now. And I'd be willing to bet we see some other people do this. Joy Reid, I bet she does it. And don't let these people trick you into thinking that, like, oh, now they're coming to our side. Look, we're pulling people over, to realize how bad the Democratic Party is. It's not what's happening. They can read the room and see that the majority of the population is sick and fed up with the Democratic Party, and so this is what they're doing. Trying to get a major book deal, trying to get a lot of money. That's all it is. All it is. So, yeah, that's all I got for you today. I mean, this really chaps my ass. It really does. I can't stand this kind of thing, especially coming from someone like her. It's like when Chris Cuomo debated Dave Smith on the Patrick Bet-David show over COVID, and Dave Smith brought up this point that, like, yeah, the media demonized Joe Rogan for saying ivermectin might possibly can help you, and that he was taking ivermectin, and that, oh, Joe's doctor prescribed him ivermectin, and you as the entire media class, crucified him for it. Chris Cuomo just goes, I never did that. No, I never did that. It's like, look, you can't just lie to my face and tell me that you didn't do things that you obviously did. Like, KJP can't tell me, like, I'm going to try to bring people together and look outside the party lines. When you spent the last 4 years crucifying people who were just stating the obvious. Yeah, I hope she does terrible. I hope the book doesn't sell. I have no empathy for her, and I hope her career is destroyed. I just don't have empathy for her. Yep, that's all I got for you today. I had to do a video on this just because it chaps my ass so much. Yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all like, share, subscribe, do everything you know you need to.